lies, tell me your dirty secrets, yo. Get yours fast, let's go. And if they chase us down, don't ever look back, you'll be safe in my arms. Jumped in his car, we hardly spoke, hardly a sound. He couldn't keep his eyes out on the road. He called me a star. He said you're gonna blow.
Oh, that creamer is so sweet. I don't know if I like it. It's so sweet. I am staring at 3 weeks of just nothing but writing and reading and going to the gym and just trying to get as much down in this story as possible. So feeling pretty good about it, feeling pretty happy about it. I've got my little tracker up here, which you can't really see. I don't think, it's not really in the shot. Laptop, bullet journal, coffee, candle burning, Tolstoy candle burning. So I think it's time to dive in and write the first words of this challenge. Just a little bit of context here. I don't want to say that I deleted my story. I did take my manuscript where I had reached over 20,000 words and I've put it aside because I reworked my story completely. Oh, hello, are you coming to join the writing party? I don't know what you can see now, so let's get into it. Let's start writing and see how far we can get into the story. Let's do it.
Arms, jumped in his car, we hardly spoke, hardly a sound. He couldn't keep his eyes out on the road. He called me a star. He said you're gonna blow 25 kilo till we pass the state line, so we should elope. Right then shit got crazy. We just slept on the fog lines. Whatever, oh.
I'm so glad that I did this deep outline. Right now, I'm really tired. I had an intense weekend, and sitting down and staring at a blank page feels very daunting and intimidating, and I have no idea where to start. So what I did is I went to my outline and I read through the scene that I'm supposed to write. In my outline, I wrote for every single scene what happens and why it matters. And then I also added in a little note section. I wish I could show you. I can't show you. But I also added in a little note section that includes lines that I'd previously written, either lines of dialogue or just description or revelations or something that I really like that I want to keep. And so staring at this blank page, which I have been for like 10 minutes, having zero idea where to start, just felt so uncomfortable. And then I remembered that I did this. So I went to my outline, saw my little synopsis of what happens, and most importantly, I read through the bullet points of why it matters, what I need to reveal, what this scene needs to mean in the overall plot of the story. And then I also, past Megan, also wrote some little lines of description that I really like. So I just feel like I'm in a better place now than I was 10 minutes ago staring at my screen. I'm listening to a playlist that my friend sent me called Sad Bitches Only, and I'm really liking it. So that's gonna be the vibe today. I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna get to writing.
Hello. I've got new mug. Look at this. Well, it's not new, but it's new today because I switched my mug. Look at my mug. It's a ghost mug. I did half and half now with this pumpkin creamer and soy milk. Much better. Much better. I've got some snacks because I'm already hungry even though I had breakfast. I am now going to sit down and I'm going to write a little bit. It is leaf blower season. It's so annoying. I hate it so much. I rage every day. No reason for it. It's so condensed. There's not enough space for everyone to own a leaf blower. I could go on, but I won't. I'm really sorry if you can hear background noise. Been waiting all morning and I gotta update you on the things that have happened and I can't wait any longer.
Writing yesterday went fine. It did not go great. It did not go poorly. It just went fine. I managed to get out around 1,000 words and they're usable. There were some parts that I really enjoyed, but to be honest, yesterday was such a struggle. I was so tired and I really just wanted to have a bare minimum Monday, and that's exactly what I did. I told myself to just write as much as possible. Don't force myself to spend all day writing. I had my triumphant return to the gym after probably over a week, close to 2 weeks of not going to the gym. That was crazy. Don't know why I took that long of a break, but it felt really good to be back. It felt really good to move my body and to just kind of work out all of the kinks. I'm feeling better today. I'm feeling more prepared to sit down and really just spend all day here. I am going to set up my days where I'm going to write as much as possible in the morning, and then in the afternoon I want to spend time editing and revising. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So the goal for today is to write the next scene, which is a kind of spooky scene. It's really the beginning. It's the beginning of the story. It's the beginning of the rest of the plot. It is the pivotal moment wherein everything changes for my protagonist. So it's kind of a big deal. I haven't talked about this either. But I did get pretty far into this manuscript. I got over 20,000 words and then I kind of decided to cut them all. And by that, I mean I just kind of moved them away from my main manuscript because I really felt like starting fresh, especially with this challenge to finish the book by the end of the year. I really just wanted to have a blank page. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically working off of a blank page, but I'm cutting in moments that I've already written and descriptions that I really like. So a lot of what I'm doing right now is not solid writing. Yesterday, I think I cut about 500 words back into the story and kind of reworked them and everything. Hopefully this is making sense. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when I went back and I plotted out this entire story, I really changed a significant portion of it. So I really needed to go back and just kind of start fresh. And it's feeling so much better. I'm so happy to do this. I'm always embarrassed to admit that I'm doing this because it feels wrong, because it feels like backtracking. It sounds like backtracking, but it's not at all backtracking. It is part of my process to kind of start fresh every once in a while and really hone in on what the story is. I don't know if I will always write this way. I don't think every single work will require writing this way, but for now, my last 2 books at least, this is how I've had to begin. And eventually I stop reworking the beginning and I just go through. And that's really where I feel like I'm at right now. I feel like I'm at the point where I don't need to work the beginning anymore. The beginning is what it's going to be until the final draft is done. The first draft is done, not the final draft is done. I still want to do my debrief of writing of like the 3 things that went really well, but to be honest, yesterday the main thing that went really well was the ending of my scene I really liked and the fact that I just powered through. So I don't really have anything particular that went really well yesterday, but we're gonna keep up with that because it feels really good to reflect on writing in that kind of way. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I've been trying to really savor the process of writing a lot more this year and this season, and that means just being really present in my writing and focusing on what is going well. Kind of like how people write 3 things they're grateful for every day. I, at the end of my writing session, love to write 3 things that I really enjoyed in the process and that went really well for me. I'm gonna stop rambling really soon, but one thing that I wanted to show you was I got a part of my Halloween costume yesterday. Really excited. I'm going to a party this year. I haven't dressed up in years because normally we just celebrate Halloween by like staying in, eating a bunch of junk food and watching spooky movies, and we're definitely gonna do that, but we also have a Halloween party, and this is my costume, or at least this is part of my costume. Can you guess who or what I'm going as? These probably are massive for my face, but I actually really like them, and I'm probably going to use them as, they're just blue screen glasses, but I kind of like them more than the other ones that I have. These ones that I have like a yellow tinge to them, and they hurt my head after a while of wearing them, which I've never had with blue screen glasses. That's a little scary, so I don't really like using them. But these ones, I don't feel like I can tell the difference really at all. So there's that. I'm really excited for Halloween, and now I'm just officially procrastinating. So let's get into writing and see where the day takes us, where our imaginations take us today.
Pretty girl.
Sorry, was that too much?
Okay, I'm officially done writing, and I think I'm gonna go outside and go to a park and read for a little bit because it's so beautiful outside. And then I will come back and check in with writing and reading and all that jazz. But let's go to the park and read first. I'm making myself a hot chocolate too. Real excited for that. I really didn't like it. I was not a fan of this book. I don't know if you could tell from my facial expressions, but there were definitely some positives, and I think I'm more harsh on it because I really, really liked the beginning. It was written really well. I liked the writing a lot, and at the very beginning I was so into this story, but it just wasn't able to sustain itself for me. And I think that my biggest thing is that I really don't like books that live in the abstract. Oh, hello. I don't know if you can see her, but she's like sitting right there. How's it going? And by that, I mean, if you are at all a fan of The Starless Sea or Strange the Dreamer, you may like this book because it felt very similar in the sense that it was just very abstract, and this entire book was built up to something that I feel like wasn't thoroughly explained at all, and I was just very confused, and I didn't really understand the stakes of it because I didn't really understand what was going on. Knew very little about Olivia Blake's writing going into this because I have only heard about like the Atlas Six. I would be inclined to pick up other books from her if they weren't as abstract as this one. I was so disappointed in this. I'm so disappointed because the beginning had such promise. This book was very unique, and I appreciate that. And so I think that this one just is a big old meh. However, I do love the writing, so I guess that is a positive. We're gonna return to books real quick, but first I want to do a little bit of a mini writing update. I feel like this week is just a very low energy week at the very beginning. both Tom and I are just really, really tired. We were just talking about it, and we both kind of feel like we're in a little bit of a haze, and we're not sure why. I don't know if it's the shortening of days or if it was just that we had a really intense weekend and we're still recovering from that. I don't know. Introvert life, it is what it is. And so I'm kind of just accepting how I feel and not trying to force any super excitement when it comes to writing. I am a little bit bummed because this challenge was supposed to be exciting and it's day 2 and I feel like I'm like, meh, it's fine. This challenge isn't about being rah excited every single day. It's a long-term challenge and there will be ups and there will be downs. And at the end of the day, at the end of the challenge, I hope that I can look back and just be really proud of my progress. So all that to say, I wrote 1,870 words today and I got to the end of the scene and I wanted to take a break, so I did. And now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna edit what I worked on yesterday because I feel like giving my scenes a little bit of room to breathe before I return and immediately try to edit them is probably the best bet right now, because I feel like if I were to go back and try to work on the scene that I was working on this morning, I would hate it. I would hate it. I would want to rip it apart. I just don't want to do that. I want to approach my scenes with the best mindset. So I think going forward, that's what I'm going to do, and that feels really good. Anywho, I am going to go edit now. I'm going to set a timer for an hour. I feel like I had such a good reading month in September. I really liked all of the books that I read, and now we're like 17 days into October. I haven't really liked any books that I've read, and that's a really, really, really big bummer to me because this is my reading time. Between now and like February, I feel like it's my prime reading time. It is the time where I read all of my favorite kinds of books: spooky books, winter books, atmospheric books, cozy books. And they've all fallen flat so far. What I'm gonna do after I'm done editing is I am going to look through my TBR and I'm going to pull out all of the spooky books that I want to read and just pick the next one. I'm thinking it's going to be Interview with a Vampire. Hello, good morning. I feel like an entirely new person today because I went to bed at 9 p.m. last night. I was so tired. I fought to stay up that late and basically did not move, did not wake until 7 a.m. And it feels as if I've risen from the dead. I feel so good and I'm so ready to write today. In a little bit, I am going to call my friend Rachel, who I've written with before on this channel. She is a fellow writer who is writing full-time right now in an attempt to finish her first draft. It's so good. I love her story. I love writing with her. And we've decided to test out writing over a video call together to see how it feels. We both live in the same city. It would be very easy to meet up, but I just kind of don't want to leave my house today. So I'm not going to put a whole lot of pressure on myself when it comes to editing and reworking what I've already written. In theory, I would like to do that as I write because it just means that when I'm done, I can be done and I only have to read through it like one more time as opposed to doing a big old edit. Because how I did my previous book is I basically just wrote through to the end and then I kept going back and editing it, which was great, but it was a little overwhelming. I would like to just have a cleaner draft this time around. If I could avoid doing that this time around, that's great, but I'm not going to put any pressure on that part of this process. The main thing is to finish this draft. Everything else will just be whipped cream and cherries on top of the sundae. Hello! Oh my god, your setup looks so profesh. Like I'm nice being off. Well, I kind of actually feel like I'm like adrift. Like I don't like it. I think because writing is so tied up like in what we love and it's like this is our calling and all that jazz, we feel like it should be different, but I'm like, no, it's
Oh, hey, hi, hello. Let's do a very mini writing update because I also have, okay, the camera's moving so much. I also went book shopping, so we're going to talk about some books. But really quickly, writing went really well today. You need to see what I'm looking at. This is the scene that is right behind the camera. I'm dying. Writing went really well today. I managed to get out 1,100 words, but most importantly, I'm all caught up in my editing. So all of that talking about not putting any pressure on editing really paid off because I got to about 1 p.m. today and I really ran out of steam, and so I pivoted and I started editing, and I'm all caught up, and I was able to clean up some of the things that I've written in the past couple days, and that's really great. Our wedding anniversary is coming up, and so we decided to treat ourselves to a bookstore visit wherein we bought a bunch of books, and I want to show you what we bought. I didn't film anything in the bookstore because I just frankly forgot. So we went there today after work and we picked up 4 books. I'm saying we because we're actually both planning to read pretty much all of them because they are horror based and we're super into that. I'm not going to go too deep into these because I think that they're going to feature in an upcoming reading vlog that I may potentially have planned. So first up, really quickly, we bought Riley Sager at our used bookstore. We've been really into Allison Pages lately, been basically watching her vlogs nonstop for the past few months. I cannot stop. Her videos are just so cozy and comforting. And she has read a lot of Riley Sager, and I've heard a lot about Riley Sager. I really want to see where I land with the enjoyment of Riley Sager. Will I like him? Will I not like him? We shall see. Next up is a book that we've actually picked up a number of times in the bookstore and put down. This is The Dead Take the A Train by Cassandra Khaw and Richard Kadri. I've actually read Nothing But Blackened Teeth by the same author, and frankly, the back of this just like sells it so well. The first line of the description is, Julie is a coked up, burnt out 30-year-old whose only retirement plan is dying early. So I'm really into it. It sounds ooky spooky and basically just like a really good ride. Also, the cover is exceptional. And frankly, I feel like when you pick up a book at least 3 times in a bookstore, you have to buy it. And so we decided to. Plus it was on sale. Next up, I just couldn't resist buying Rouge by Mona Awad. I read Bunny on our trip earlier this year. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. And this is a gothic horror spin on the beauty industry, and I also think that there's mother and daughter relationship elements in this story, so I'm really, really excited to read it. I think it's gonna be a really good time. And last but not least, if you've watched my previous vlogs, you know that I've recently discovered Chuck Wendig, and he just came out with a new book. This is Black River Orchard. This is a spooky story based in a small town in autumn that has cultish elements, I believe, but from what I know and from what I understand about what I've previously read by Wendig, it's probably going to be about so much more than that. And I'm really excited for his writing. I'm really excited for his storytelling. I read the Book of Accidents in a literal weekend. I could not put it down. It was just such a good ride. I'm really excited to read a book set in spooky season, during spooky season, by an author whose writing I know I mesh with really well. So more Chuck Wendig, all the Chuck Wendig. I'm super into it. How convenient that I just finished a book by him, just discovered him, and he just came out with a new book. So it's gonna be a good time. So those are all my books. That's everything I bought. This week is going so well. It kills me that I am not a vampire girly. I want to be a vampire girly so badly. I want to love all the vampire books, and it kills me. It kills me that I'm not. This book had absolutely everything that I should love in a book. It had great atmosphere. It had really intense characters who just felt so real. It explored really, really big themes and had really intense high emotions and long-winded speeches about morality, and
immortality and love and what it means to be human. But I felt nothing. I felt very much nothing. I felt very meh, and I don't know why. I don't know why. It kills me. I feel like I'm walking away from that book going, okay. And I have to say, I have read a lot of vampire books, so many, because I just so desperately want to like them. I want to understand what it is about vampires, particularly, that gets people going to the point where there are so many books. It is a genre at this point, and I've read quite a bit of them, and I will say that Interview with a Vampire certainly falls at the number one. I think it's definitely the best. I can get why people love it, but I'm also equally just like, okay, it was good. Was it brilliant? Objectively, yes. Did I like it? Yes. Is it a favorite book? No. I hope that's making sense. I think that I'm really good at judging books not based on my own feelings. Like, objectively, if the book is good, I think it's important to call attention to that, but I just don't think it was for me. Like, it just didn't capture me the way I wanted it to, and I'm really disappointed about that, but I'm glad I read it, and it definitely kicks off this spooky reading season, so I'm glad about that, but overall, very much meh. Not all the books can be for everybody. That's what makes them so special. I don't know if I'm going to read another vampire book anytime soon. If I ever want to attempt another vampire book, I think I will read the second book in this chronicles, in this series, because I certainly love Anne Rice's writing. I think that was a strong point. I'm gonna go right now. I'm really stressed out about the day. I'm actually really stressed out about the next 2 days because I feel like I have a lot to accomplish and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it all done. So very stressed. I find that the second half of my weeks are just so crunched because I write, I edit videos, I get this apartment cleaned, I have appointments usually, but I'm just going to take it one task at a time instead of sitting here and spiraling and talking about it. So let's get to writing and also editing this video because I have to do that today. So that was a little rough. I kept checking my word count like every 15 minutes just to see if I was reaching my goal, and just decided to quit at 1,000 words because I don't know, I'm just really tired today. I can't really focus and the energy is low. The creative energy is very low. So I also think it's just really hard for me to focus on Thursdays with writing because I have to edit my video, and so I always feel an immense amount of stress when it comes to editing my video because it takes so long, and I think that just made it really difficult to focus, but that's okay because we're just gonna pick right back up tomorrow. But I'm gonna go to the gym now, and I did it. I wrote over 1,000 words. That's not my goal. My goal is 1,400 words, but to be honest, today I was like, my goal is 1,000 words.
Make you confess, tell me your dirty secrets, yo. Get yours fast, let's go. And if they chase us down, don't ever look back, you'll be safe in my arms. Jumped in his car, we hardly spoke, hardly a sound. He couldn't keep his eyes out on the road. He called me a star, he said you're gonna blow 25 kilo till we pass the state line, so we should elope. Right then she got crazy, we just left on the fog lines. Whatever, oh, my memory's hazy. I think we left the fog lines, under violet strobes. I did this dance he loved, whispered to him my dirty secret, yo. Classic vinyl soul, we danced to the trombone. Didn't ever look back as I laid in his arms. Oh, we watched the stars, oh, he smelled like clothes. He couldn't keep his hands away, no, he couldn't keep me in my clothes. He called me a star, he said you're gonna blow 200 kilo per hour, let's keep on the fog lights and go.
Sometimes writing is a slog and it can be very, very difficult. And this week is definitely an example of that. To be fair, a lot of what I was feeling this week was not about writing, but just life stuff in general. I was very, very tired this week. Today went better, and I'm really glad that it did. Because I really wanted to end this video on a somewhat high note. I don't know. I don't really think that this is a particularly high note, but I think that that's very true to what this week was, and very true to what writing is so much of the time. You can't always be super excited. Sometimes you just got to sit down and do the thing. And while I really wanted this week to be a super exciting, we're starting a challenge week, it just didn't turn into that, and that's okay. While I was writing today, I realized that I'm almost at 10K again in this draft, and I wrote over 6,000 of those words this week, so I can be very proud of that. The week is not over for me because I am still going to be writing every single day as much as possible. We're gonna see. I might try to take Thursdays off, or I might try to take Saturdays off. I do think having one day off a week might be good for my mental health. It might just be important and something that I find I need. But for now, I've got my lunch, I've got my vitamins, I'm gonna go grab some groceries after this. I'm going to finish editing this video after that and just get ready for a very cozy weekend. But I'm gonna end the video here. So thank you so very much for watching. Thanks for being here. I hope you are staying creative, and I'll see you in the next video.